fitter, happier, more productive, comfortable. Ooh, this was the opening words of another work, my apologies. The video about to start contains a great many details and subtexts. This video was not prepared to please music lover internet users or musicians but in the name of music only. Audiences who define music as detail or those who do not like subtexts are kindly asked to leave the channel. To leave the channel. To leave the channel. To leave the channel. Thank you.
There's broadcast signal coda intrusion. Close encounters of the pirate grooves. Sea songs and shanties kind. A pirate arterial station is a broadcast stunt flying that operates without a cØdΔ spectacle license.
What is a coda?
The Society of the Spectacle Purpose. A piece of music at the end of a longer piece of music, usually separate from the basic structure. The coda is often more technically difficult than the rest of the piece. What is vibration? Vibration is a mechanical phenomenon whereby oscillations occur about an equilibrium point. The word comes from Latin vibrationem. The oscillations may be periodic, such as the motion of a pendulum, or random, such as the movement of a tire on a gravel road. Vibration can be desirable. For example, the motion of a tuning fork, the reed in a woodwind instrument or harmonica, a mobile phone, or the cone of a loudspeaker. The studies of sound and vibration are closely related. Sound, or pressure waves, are generated by vibrating structures, for example vocal cords. These pressure waves can also induce the vibration of structures, for example eardrum. Hence, attempts to reduce noise are often related to issues of vibration.
Do you play?
No, people like me have a problem with rhythm.
Tosh, everybody can play something, everybody. All you need is heart, soul, and a little imagination. You have those?
Albert Einstein said, everything is vibrations. But if this is true, if everything is just a form of energy vibration, then there should be a process where new vibrations come into existence and others cease to exist. Also, this process should be able to explain why we have a future that is always uncertain and interactive relative to our actions, with a past that is always unchangeable and only really exists as a memory of the individual.
Free vibration occurs when a mechanical system is set in motion with an initial input and allowed to vibrate freely. Forced vibration is when a time-varying disturbance is applied to a mechanical system. When the energy of a vibrating system is gradually dissipated by friction and other resistances, the vibrations are said to be damped. The vibrations gradually reduce or change in frequency or intensity or cease and the system rests in its equilibrium position. A molecular vibration occurs when atoms in a molecule are in periodic motion while the molecule as a whole has constant translational and rotational motion. The frequency of the periodic motion is known as a vibration frequency, and the typical frequencies of molecular vibrations range from less than 1013 to approximately 1014 Hz. corresponding to wave numbers of approximately 300 to 3000 cm1.
Play any three notes. Play them at any time, for any length, in any order.
The one thing we all have in common is music. Music is the universal language bridging all cultures. But why? There is a special connection we as humans have with sounds put in rhythmic patterns. We connect with it instantly. Turn on any fast-paced song around a 2-year-old and they can't help but to dance to the beat. We instinctively understand the vibrational connection of all things through sound. But few people actually know the power that frequencies of sound possess. It can be used as a weapon, or it can be used as a component for healing. In ancient times, geometric patterns and structures were created using certain frequencies of sound. This is known as cymatics. Cymatics is the study of wave phenomena and vibration through sound. It's a method that demonstrates the vibratory nature of reality through frequency and vibration. Studies have shown that frequencies can be used in negative or positive ways. It has been proven that some frequencies can help tune the brain for better focusing while learning. And some low frequencies have been known to cause major discomfort and have an unhealthy effect on the human body.
A molecular vibration is excited when the molecule absorbs a quantum of energy, E, corresponding to the vibration's frequency, Greek letter nu, according to the relation E equals, where H is Planck's constant. A fundamental vibration is excited when one such quantum of energy is absorbed by the molecule in its ground state. When two quanta are absorbed, the first overtone is excited, and so on to higher overtones. To a first approximation, the motion in a normal vibration can be described as a kind of simple harmonic motion. In this approximation, the vibrational energy is a quadratic function, parabola, with respect to the atomic displacements, and the first overtone has twice the frequency of the fundamental. In reality, vibrations are anharmonic and the first overtone has a frequency that is slightly lower than twice that of the fundamental. Excitation of the higher overtones involves progressively less and less additional energy and eventually leads to dissociation of the molecule, because the potential energy of the molecule is more like a Morse potential, or more accurately, a Morse long-range potential.
In the 1930s, Dr. Royal Raymond Rife successfully cured 16 out of 16 terminally ill cancer patients in less than 70 days by using his hand-built frequency device. His work was later suppressed for obvious reasons. There are two special frequencies that have a tremendous effect on the human mind and body. Those frequencies are 432 Hz and 528 Hz. 528 Hz is known as the miracle tone and often associated with DNA repair. It resonates with the human body and nature and is one of the original solfeggio scales. In 2010, John Hutchinson, an electromagnetic energy expert from Vancouver, Canada, successfully purified oil-infested waters using 528 Hz and other solfeggio frequencies.
The vibrational states of a molecule can be probed in a variety of ways. The most direct way is through infrared spectroscopy, as vibrational transitions typically require an amount of energy that corresponds to the infrared region of the spectrum. Raman spectroscopy, which typically uses visible light, can also be used to measure vibration frequencies directly. The two techniques are complementary, and comparison between the two can provide useful structural information, such as in the case of the rule of mutual exclusion for centrosymmetric molecules.
The 432 Hz frequency is known as Vertis A and is a sound that is mathematically tuned and the most consistent to nature. Music based in Vertis A has a beneficial healing effect on the human body because it's a tone mathematically fundamental to nature's ability to repair itself. Both 432 Hz and 528 Hz are notes of the same celestial music and are proven to create healing vibrations for the mind, body, and spirit. All the great composers from Bach, Chopin, Mozart, all used 432 Hz as the frequencies to create their masterpieces.
Vibrational excitation can occur in conjunction with electronic excitation in the ultraviolet visible region. The combined excitation is known as a vibronic transition, giving vibrational fine structure to electronic transitions, particularly for molecules in the gas state. Simultaneous excitation of a vibration and rotations gives rise to vibration-rotation spectra.
The original standard for symphonies and classical compositions was in 432 Hz, but that has since been changed to 440 Hz, a frequency that is not in resonance with the human body. 440 Hz is a unnatural tone that is not found anywhere in nature. When certain authorities found out about the effects certain frequencies have on the body and mind, they began to use it for their own benefit, but to the detriment of others. They would notice how music affected the atmosphere and attitudes of those listening.
Whole body vibration is a generic term used when vibrations, mechanical oscillations of any frequency, are transferred to the human body. Humans are exposed to vibration through a contact surface that is in a mechanical vibrating state. The term energy is used by writers and practitioners of various esoteric forms of spirituality and alternative medicine to refer to a variety of phenomena. There is no scientific evidence for the existence of such energy.
In Nazi Germany, the propaganda minister, Joseph Goebbels, changed the original scale from 432 Hz to 440 Hz. They found that 440 Hz stifles creativity and dulls the emotions, keeping the masses under a certain amount of control. Thus, 440 Hz was adopted by the Rockefeller Foundation and set as the official scale for music.
A subtle body is one of a series of psycho-spiritual constituents of living beings, according to various esoteric, occult, and mystical teachings. According to such beliefs, each subtle body corresponds to a subtle plane of existence, in a hierarchy or great chain of being that culminates in the physical form. According to Bhagavad Gita, one of the most sacred texts of Hinduism, the subtle body is composed of mind, intelligence and ego, which controls the gross physical body. It is also known in other different spiritual traditions, the most sacred body Wujud al-Aqdus, and true and genuine body Jism Asli Hakiki, in Sufism, the diamond body in Taoism and Vajrayana, the light body or rainbow body in Tibetan Buddhism, the body of bliss in Kriya Yoga, and the immortal body Soma Thanatan, in Hermeticism. A tuning fork is an acoustic resonator in the form of a two-pronged fork with the prongs, tines, formed from a U-shaped bar of elastic metal, usually steel. It resonates at a specific constant pitch when set vibrating by striking it against a surface or with an object, and emits a pure musical tone once the high overtones fade out. A tuning fork's pitch depends on the length and mass of the two prongs. They are traditional sources of standard pitch for tuning musical instruments. The tuning fork was invented in 1711 by British musician John Shaw, sergeant trumpeter and lutenist to the court. Alternatives to the common A equals 440 standard include philosophical or scientific pitch with standard pitch of C equals 512. According to Rayleigh, physicists and acoustic instrument makers use this pitch. The tuning fork John Shaw gave to George Frederick Handel produces C equals 512. Tuning forks, usually C512, are used by medical practitioners to assess a patient's hearing. This is most commonly done with two exams called the Weber test and Rin test, respectively. Lower-pitched ones, usually at C128, are also used to check vibration sense as part of the examination of the peripheral nervous system. Orthopedic surgeons have explored using a tuning fork, lowest frequency C equals 128, to assess injuries where bone fracture is suspected. They hold the end of the vibrating fork on the skin above the suspected fracture, progressively closer to the suspected fracture. If there is a fracture, the periosteum of the bone vibrates, and fire nociceptors, pain receptors, causing a local sharp pain. Citation needed. This can indicate a fracture, which the practitioner refers for medical X-ray. The sharp pain of a local sprain can give a false positive. Established practice, however, requires an X-ray regardless, because it's better than missing a real fracture while wondering if a response means a sprain. A systematic review published in 2014 in BMJ Open suggests that this technique is not reliable or accurate enough for clinical use. Tuning forks also play a role in several alternative therapy practices, such as sonipuncture and polarity therapy. Diapason. Pythagorean interval. Pythagorean perfect fifth on C. About this sound play. Help. Info. CG. 3/2 divide 1/1 equals 3/2. In musical tuning theory, a diapason, Pythagorean interval, is a musical interval with frequency ratio equal to a power of 2 divided by a power of 3, or vice versa, 1. For instance, the perfect fifth with ratio 3/2, equivalent to 31/21, and the perfect fourth with ratio 4/3, equivalent to 22/31, are Pythagorean intervals. All the intervals between the notes of a scale are Pythagorean if they are tuned using the Pythagorean tuning system. However, some Pythagorean intervals are also used in other tuning systems. For instance, the above-mentioned Pythagorean perfect fifth and fourth are also used in just intonation. Octavus, 8, or perfect octave, sometimes called the diapason, is the interval between one musical pitch and another with double its frequency. The octave relationship is a natural phenomenon that has been referred to as the basic miracle of music, the use of which is common in most musical systems. The interval between the first and second harmonics of the harmonic series is an octave. In music notation, notes separated by an octave, or multiple octaves, have the same letter name and are of the same pitch class, to emphasize that it is one of the perfect intervals, including unison, perfect fourth, and perfect fifth. The octave is designated P8. Other interval qualities are also possible, though rare. The octave above or below an indicated note is sometimes abbreviated 8 or 8 va, Italian, a lattava, 8 va bassa, Italian, a lattava bassa, sometimes also 8 vb, or simply 8 for the octave in the direction indicated by placing this mark above or below the staff. Symbol october is a logarithmic unit for ratios between frequencies, with one octave corresponding to a doubling of frequency. For example, the frequency 1 octave from, or above, 40 Hz is 80 Hz. The term is derived from the Western musical scale where an octave is a doubling in frequency. Note 1. Specification in terms of octaves is therefore common in audio electronics. Along with the decade, it is a unit used to describe frequency bands or frequency ratios. A number of keyboard musical instruments use principles similar to tuning forks. The most popular of these is the Rhodes Piano, in which hammers hit metal times that vibrate in the magnetic field of a pickup, creating a signal that drives electric amplification. The earlier, unamplified dulcitone, which used tuning forks directly, suffered from low volume. Doubled and H-type tuning forks are used for tactical grade vibrating structure gyroscopes and various types of microelectromechanical systems. A radar gun that measures the speed of cars or a ball in sports is usually calibrated with a tuning fork instead of the frequency. These forks are labeled with the calibration speed and radar band. For example, X band or K band. They are calibrated for
Daughter.
Father.
So, you know what this means? How it will change your life?
Yes.
How do you feel about it?